Greetings from Technology Transfer Office, IPM Cell, IC&SR, IIT Madras, respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, and everyone gathered here, good morning and welcome to IIT Madras World IP Day Celebration 2024. I'm Vanishri, Senior Executive Business Development Team, TTO IPM Cell.
I'm Nivedita, Senior Executive, Portfolio Management Team, TTO IPM Cell, and we are the hosts for today. It's really great to have you all here to celebrate the incredible contributions that innovations bring to our society. Intellectual Property Day, officially known as World Intellectual Property Day, is celebrated on April 26 every year. It is a day designated by World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, to raise awareness about the role of intellectual property in fostering innovation and creativity. Each year, WIPO chooses a theme to focus on a specific aspect of intellectual property, and this year, the theme for World IP Day is IP and the SDGs, building our common future with innovation and creativity.
To build our common future and achieve United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, we need to rethink how we live, work, and play. World IP Day 2024 is an opportunity to explore how intellectual property, IP, encourages and can amplify the innovative and creative solutions that are crucial to build our common future. We have an exciting program planned for you today with insightful talks, engaging panel discussions, and so on. Before we proceed with today's program, I would like to invite our beloved Dean, Professor Manu Santhanam, to please come to the dais. Please, sir.
Next, I invite our guest of honor, Professor V. Kamakodi, Director IIT Madras, to the dais, and I request our Dean Sir to welcome our Director with a flower bouquet. Thank you, sir. So please sit. Next, I invite our Chief Guest, Thiru Vishnu Venugopalan IAS, MD and CEO, Guidance Tamil Nadu, to the dais. I request our Dean and Director to welcome our Chief Guest with a flower bouquet. Please occupy your seat, sir. Thank you.
To officially start our event and deliver welcome address, I have the honor of introducing a very special person. He has been instrumental in guiding our institutions, especially IC&SR, towards excellence. Please join me in welcoming our very own Dean, Professor Manu Santhanam, to the stage for the opening remarks.
Thank you, Vani. Very warm welcome to our chief guest today, Shri V. Vishnu, who's the MD and CEO of Guidance Tamil Nadu, and of course our beloved director, Professor Kamakoti, who's been the guiding light behind many of our achievements and continues to inspire us in many ways. So indeed, it's heartening to celebrate this World IP Day. And this has been a remarkable year as far as IP is concerned for IIT Madras and for, of course, India as a whole. And we are very happy to be one of the primary contributors in terms of IP development and IP generation from the country as the leading academic institution. We reached a target milestone. We had a major milestone this year in terms of number of patents that were granted. We crossed 400 patents granted, and we also filed. And we also ended up filing more than one patent a day. Professor Kamakoti had set that target of one patent a day, and I'm very happy that our team came forward to really pitch in and ensure that we meet that target and probably do better than that. We actually ended up with 378 filings, and we are on a path that will take us much further than that. I think we have the capability to go much further because of all the support systems that we have within our IC&SR office, including the legal support, including all the other project management support that we're offering to inventors to focus on what they know best in terms of actually doing the scientific work, so that they don't have to worry about the day-to-day things that are associated with their projects. So IC&SR is essentially an organization that supports inventors doing their projects, and we want them to be doing their work unfettered, without any worries about how their finances are getting managed, how their recruitment is being done, and so on. So we try to lend our support so that they can actually develop such IP, which can be then further commercialized in the future. That's one thing that we are also looking at in a big way, to see how we can turn many of our IPs into actually commercial viable projects. So without further ado, I'd of course look forward to a fantastic event today, because we have Mr. Vishnu, who's really ably guided this organization called Guidance Tamil Nadu. And I think over the last 1 year, I don't know how much activity I've seen to bring in a lot of international companies into Tamil Nadu. Of course, Tamil Nadu has always been a hotbed with respect to international collaboration, and a lot of companies find a very good atmosphere in Tamil Nadu to set up their industry. And also because we have such excellent human resource in this state, which can really contribute a lot to development, not just pertaining to specific companies, but also to the entire nation as a whole. So I'm very happy that he has chosen, he has given us his time to be here on this occasion to really participate in our success story with respect to IPs. I'm very happy that Professor Kamakoti also, you all know very well that I don't know how he manages it, but I think he has several digital twins that attend several different events and also interact all the time with all the guests that are coming in. I've never seen a person this active. Professor Kamakoti is probably the reason why IIT Madras is positively depicted so much in the news today. We are on the we are in the news almost every other week, and all highlighting extremely positive stories from the campus. And one of the major reasons for that has been the able leadership provided by Professor Kamakoti. So I welcome both of you, sir, and I hope that this will lead us to grow from strength to strength in terms of filing more IPs, to see more of our inventors' work getting commercialized, because that's what we want to see in the future. And many of our students who have done exceedingly well in their projects should also be able to start ventures on their own with the support that is available throughout this campus and also in our incubation cell and research park to really take this to the next level. We want to see more and more entrepreneurs coming out. One of the things Professor Kamakoti keeps saying is that we need to be job creators and not job seekers. And many of our students are getting there with the kind of work that they are doing in their projects, and ably guided by our faculty also. So let's hope that we will again meet here next year with a much bigger achievement that our IP office and our technology transfer office have actually produced for IIT Madras. So with that, I'd like to conclude, and thank you all very much for coming for this World IP Day, and wish you all a very happy IP Day.
Thank you, Manu sir, for those inspiring words. IIT Madras has many inventions that are classified under SDG, and Technology Transfer Office of IIT Madras has successfully transferred many technology licensing, contributing towards sustainable development goals of UN SDGs. Next is the grand launch of revamped TTO website by our leader and visionary, Professor Kamakoti. Sir, IIT Madras has achieved remarkable milestones such as NIRF ranking, CII awards and research breakthroughs, etc. under your leadership. And in his last IP Day address, he mentioned about his vision of 1 IP per day. And as Manu sir already mentioned, IIT Madras has witnessed an exponential increase in both filed and granted patents, 400 granted patents and 378 patent application. And again, under his leadership, IIT Madras has set an ambitious target of incubating 100 startups next year, with a startup every once 3 days. Sir, your vision and dedication continue to inspire us every day. I invite our director, Professor Kamakodi, to launch the revamped TTO website. Please, sir.
These are the highlights of the revamped TTO website, which include technology portfolio classification, upgraded technology flyer template, and SDG success stories, and many others. Please go through the website and have a look. With this, I invite our director, Professor Kamakoti, to address the gathering.
Friends, coming to IC&SR always feel back home. Thank you for this very a welcome that is also very close to what we dreamt a couple of years before, and that has actually become reality. So IIT Madras is certainly a place where dreams really come true, Vishnu, and that is what is a message that I can give on this IP day. I still fondly remember, I think many of our team members are here, somewhere in 2019, 2020 framework, we started thinking of increasing the number of patents. At a point we just started something called HI, Visit IC&SR, have an idea, visit IC&SR. And that started in a small way, and we were able to make some progress that year with the increase by, actually doubled. It went to around 100, 150 at that point of time. Then we thought that we have reached now 100, why not look at patent a day scheme? And that took a couple of years, but then repeatedly we were, aspiring to this. And thanks to the entire IP team, today they have made us really proud that IIT Madras has crossed this 366, being a leap year, we said 366, and we crossed that 366. And I'm told that some of the top universities in the world, the maximum in a university was 389 this year, and we are very, very close to that filing. In terms of grant, it is much more than that. So again, congratulations to this big achievement. Going further, I'm very, very happy today to note that we have started aligning ourselves with the Sustainable Development Goals. As an institution, as a state, as a country, we will be losing quite significantly if we don't have that direction. And I'm very happy that that direction has been set. SDGs is now seen everywhere. You need to have a finance, you have to go for SDG. See all the annual reports of every bank today, which finally everything comes down, boils down to finance. Every page has something to do with SDG, and that's where we have started. Now we are seeing a lot of technology transfers as you have witnessed in this short video, but many more companies, many more startup ideas are cycling around this recycling stuff, right? And that is very, very important. I am very sure next 10 years, I have repeated multiple times and I'll continue to repeat, next 10 years, coding job will be superseded by recycling job. And we must start adhering ourselves, aligning ourselves with that particular idea. So, what next? So, ye to ho gaya, fir kya? Right, that's a question. Now, we must now start creating verticals, and in each vertical, we must get some of the best patents in those verticals. SDG gives us that direction. Today, we are very happy that we did a very good technology transfer that's going to be part of the 5G RAN, the technology transfer that happened to Tejas network. But that's a tip of the iceberg. We have 6G coming up. One of the interesting activity that the IP office can do, and also the technology transfer, Dara and Sumita, is we now get a list of all 6G related patents, specifically that's being done across, and give an awareness of this to the electrical engineering and computer science department. I think that's going to be extremely important for us, and also engineering design. So we must look at some of these departments who would be interested in this and start giving that type of inclination, saying these are the IPs, and if you can do something better than that, the research also will be useful, and the IP also will get multiple mangoes in that single stone. I would like to see at least every month in the next 12 months, all the 18 departments now, 18, right, Bobby? You are 18th or 17th, right? No, 18th is 8. So we have 18 departments. 18 departments, at least 1 or 2 visits must happen to every department, wherein some of the most interesting IPs that are relevant to that department must be taken up. And that awareness must be given and inspire the people. So this, I request all the HODs, we will make a request to the HODs. In WhatsApp, if I type HOD, it translates as God. So I'll talk to all the gods and basically request them to get the PhD research scholars and other people together to attend this particular meeting. So try and see how you can make that. And we need to get that level of patents which are relevant to the emerging technologies, specifically with SDGs in mind. The second important thing that I thought I must say, that as India, we have started an initiative in critical and emerging technologies called ICET. So there's a website, there are details about ICET. I'll also share with you. So ICET-oriented patents that are done outside or other parts of India or other parts of world, and specifically with an inclination to say that how this is important. So if you look at these patent documents, somewhere it also says the importance of this patent for the next addressable market or next addressable technology that is coming. So I think that orientation also must be kept in mind. So ICET and SDG should be the 2 eyes of the patent cell. I'm sure you are going to achieve much more than 365 next year. Okay, I don't have any doubt about it. So I just now remove that part of the speech as granted. Now, let us start orienting ourselves with SDG as one eye and ICET as another eye, and start visiting departments, especially July is the very good time frame. You can see that you make one visit during June, July, basically talk about what are the IPs that are there, and orient, and just put out the jargons there, people can understand those things. And let us see that we get some good projects that are coming out of it, good research that is made out of it. So this is one attempt which we can do from IC&SR to the institute, to the departments, and see what is going to come out of it. So again, congratulations, and we would like to see more technology transfer. I'm also very happy to tell you that we are getting an outpost done in US and also Dubai, and we already have a presence in Africa. So we now have at least 3 places where we can go and market our ideas. And so what should be marketed and when should we market? What are some of the things that those countries need? This type of analysis also we must start doing in coordination with the departments. So how do we effectively use these 3 research outposts or the other technology transfer outposts in those countries? This is also something very important that I'm expecting from the IP cell here. Now, the next thing is the Dream 100 startups. I am very keen that 2025 November 1 month before our recruitment, I want to make one grand gala book sponsored by IC&SR, okay, where it will be 100 sheets, 100-page book, Prabhu. Every page will have the photos of the CTOs who are graduating, with a company website, with a QR code of how to access them, plus details about what that company is doing, classified into SDGs and ICET. We are not creating some app company. I'm not demeaning them. They are also great important companies. But that's not that. We are actually going into core technology. I would like to see that 100 companies with 4 fellows per company, 4 young children from, it means 400. We graduate around 2,000. So I must get the pride of announcing that 20% of my graduating class are already CTOs. I think that is a very important message we as a country must go, and NIR of 1 actually wants us to do that, necessitates that we do that. And the role of the IP cell is going to be extremely important, because unless the IP is filed and it is protected, the startup doesn't have a hold. Please understand. Let us protect it in our country. Then all this PCT and other things we'll take care later. But protecting the IP in our country is extremely important. And it's also very nice that second year, third, fifth, sixth semester, if the person has filed an IP, it's very important for that kid also. So this is something that we must aspire. Involve the research scholars, involve the, so this is all these startups, CFI, slowly we are seeing a better presence of the postgraduate people. So involve our research scholars, involve our MTech students also. And this must, there is a role that, IC&SR should play in getting some of these ideas patented, or at least filed for patent. And that is also something which the ESL, the CFI, the NIRMAN, GDC, and also the 5-6 incubators that we have must work in a very cohesive fashion to make this possible. Otherwise, it's going to be haphazard, and we must orient this. So this is a very important target, and it's very important for the institute, for the country, and we must deliver that message as a part of this. So these all I have now, and I'm very happy that the Chintan Shibir of IP happened in IIT Madras. We have Unnat was here, very happy, and we did also showcase the way by which we are doing it in a systematic way. We have institutionalized entrepreneurship. I think that's a good message that we can give. And I think we should continue this. A lot of challenges in the next year, but if India has to become a superpower in 2047, we need more employers than employees. And I'll repeat this, keep repeating it, and let us aspire with that single goal. Let us start hitting it. I think we'll get all the other things would be, all the fringe that we get will also be very useful to us. Thank you very much, and congratulations again. So please join me in giving applause for all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. Your leadership and vision have been instrumental in shaping the future of IIT Madras, and we are grateful and graceful to have you with us today. So next, I would like to invite our chief guest, Mr. Vishnu Venugopalan, IAS. Thiru Vishnu Venugopalan serves as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Guidance Tamil Nadu, is an key agency driving investment, partnerships, and collaborations in the state. With a focus on attracting major investments, Guidance ensures a seamless and transparent process, positioning Tamil Nadu as the preferred investment destination. Under Thiru Vishnu Venugopalan's leadership, Guidance Tamil Nadu works to create a favorable business environment in the state by simplifying procedures, offering policy guidance, and assisting investors in navigating regulatory requirements. The Tamil Nadu Global Investors Meet, happened in January 2022, has attracted record investments of 6.64 lakh crore, much higher than the estimated sum of about 5 lakh crore, and double investment that was attracted in the previous Global Investors Meet 2019, which has been hosted by Guidance Tamil Nadu. He has to his credit the National Award for Best Electoral Practices 2022 from the Election Commission of India and National Award for Best Performing District Tirunelveli in the Anti-Drug Abuse from the National Commission of Protection of Child Rights 2022. The Government of Tamil Nadu has also bestowed the prestigious Chief Minister's Good Governance Award 2022 for his work in public healthcare during maternal deaths. We are privileged to have you here, sir. Audience, let's lend our ears to Mr. Vishnu. Please join in welcoming him.
A very warm good morning to all of you. It's always a privilege to be amidst Professor Kamakoti. He's no stranger to me. We have been interacting on various forums, various issues that matter to the state government, and he's always been a pillar of support for the state government, always. And at the outset, let me thank IIT Madras for having been a very, very important partner and also ensuring that the Global Investors Meet 2024 was a resounding success. Thank you, sir, and thank you for your team for that wonderful support. So before I begin, let me just introduce the organization that I represent. Some of you may have heard about Guidance, have some vague ideas on what we do, but let me just put forward what we do and why it is relevant that there is a strong partnership possibility between IIT Madras IP cell and Guidance, which is essentially with the Department of Industries, Investment Promotion and Commerce. So Guidance is India's oldest investment promotion agency, started in 1992. Now, why 1992 is important? Till 1991, there was no need for states to do an investment promotion. By and large, Government of India would decide where the planning was completely centralized, especially on the financial and the investment front. So immediately after the liberalization in the 1991 reforms, which all of us know, Tamil Nadu government in its wisdom started the investment promotion agency, and that is why it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest in the country. Ever since then, we have been known as an auto hub. Automobiles have been our strength. We export cars to almost 169 countries as of now. These are all known facts. But what we see today is a very, very unique scenario where global geopolitics play an important role, very, very important role. So which means Guidance as an organization or the state as to attract investment, we need to focus ourselves on 3 verticals. What are those verticals? Number 1, companies that are looking to enter India for the first time, essentially what we call the China Plus One strategy, which means companies leaving China or moving their base out from other countries and looking at India. How do we pitch the state of Tamil Nadu as the most preferred destination in the country? We've been fairly successful at that. And again, thanks to IIT Madras. The last time when the Foxconn chairman, when he came to India, I was at the Semicon conference where the Prime Minister was, and Mr. Yong Liu is also a Padma Shri awardee now. He met the Prime Minister, he took a chartered flight, the next pit stop was Chennai, and one of the reasons why he agreed to be in Chennai was that we arranged a visit to the IIT Madras. And he must have spent probably half an hour to 1 hour in Semicon. He spent 2.5 hours in IIT Madras. So that speaks volumes about the importance of the institution and why it is globally recognized. If a Foxconn chairman's itinerary can have 2.5 hours of his time at IIT Madras, and we as a state government, we were able to pitch it successfully, I think that lends credibility. NIRF rank 1 is a known fact consistently over the last few years, but from a state perspective or from an investment perspective, IIT Madras play an important role. It's there on top of our pitch deck. So we take the bragging rights of that. Number 2, the second vertical, what do? We look at companies that are invested in India but not present in Tamil Nadu. Classic example would be the Tata Group. If you look at a few years back, probably 4 or 5 years back, you wouldn't see a large presence of Tatas in Tamil Nadu by and large. But over the last 3-4 years, what we see is Tata Motors has announced, we signed an MOU recently to set up a new factory near Chennai. Tata Electronics, which is into the iPhone, which is one of the iPhone manufacturer, they have set up a large base in Hosur. 40,000 employment. We signed during the Global Investors Meet. Massive. And it's not just assembling alone. They do other component manufacturing also. Tata Power, again, one of the PLI awardees, setting up their shop in Tirunelveli, producing solar photovoltaic cells, employing 3,000 to 4,000 women, large-scale employment being generated. See, getting investment into the city of Chennai is fairly easy, but then getting it into the other parts of state of Tamil Nadu, I think that is the challenging, and that's what the state government is earnestly trying to do and ensure that investments are spread across the state and ensure that there's a balanced regional development. Third vertical is obviously those companies which are already invested in Tamil Nadu, ensure that they don't do a Tamil Nadu plus one on us. They continue to reinvest, they continue to grow in the state of Tamil Nadu. So these are 3 buckets under which my mandate falls to attract investment. Now, where does that leave the whole creation of IP and IP ecosystem into the investment drive? How do we look at what are the rationales that we apply when we look out for companies? Professor Kamakodi rightly mentioned that we need to look at critical sectors, emerging sectors. There has to be a focus in which we attract. We are very clear as a state, we need to look at high value addition or value creation should be the proposition that we need to pitch at. Today, TN is known as a manufacturing hub. It's a given game. Anybody who wants to set up basic manufacturing or high volume, low value manufacturing, it's clear. We're already there. But how do we go for high value, maybe low volume manufacturing, or really, the value addition happens. For example, if you take the semiconductor value chain, Qualcomm recently announced their new research center in Chennai. This was announced during the Global Investors Meet. The bulk of the value created in the semiconductor chain happens at the design stage. So we've decided to focus on design or semiconductor design as a focus area, and how do we attract investors? And IP holds a very, very important aspect in that. Even in manufacturing, how do we look at critical components in the semiconductor chain? How do we look at or equipment component manufacturing? These are very, very important, which 95% of today happens in China. How do we get that? IP is still not in India. How do we look at creating those kind of value ecosystems? As a state, in terms of pure play investments, this plays a major role, and it is an important fact that IIT Madras has a well-mature ecosystem. Let me place on record my sincere appreciation and congratulations that 366 IP, especially factoring into a leap year, and we are close to 389, which Professor Kamakodi says that is with MIT time being. I hope next year's World IP Day we cross that target and you double the count. Next year, not a leap year, but 365 into 2, and let's look at a massive, not in terms of just quantity alone, but also in terms of quality, which the direction is very, very clear. As a state, Government of Tamil Nadu will continue to work with IIT Madras across all its forums. We take the bragging right. So we don't ask you for that. We take that as our own institution, and we continue to collaborate in every possible avenue. And Guidance Tamil Nadu as an organization will continue to partner with every possible collaboration with IIT Madras, and wish you all the best. I can see a lot of youngsters and students here. All of you are privileged to be studying or doing your research or being part of activities in India's best institution. So good luck with all of that. And faculty members, please collaborate extensively with the state government agencies, multiple state government agencies. We need to work together to ensure that the right ecosystem, we pitch the state, we pitch the country as a single unit, and that's the objective. And wish you all the best once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate the knowledge and wisdom you shared with us today. And I'm sure under your leadership, Guidance Tamil Nadu will ensure that Tamil Nadu is the best place for investors. Yes. Yeah. And yes, as a small token of our appreciation, we'd like you to accept a memento from our director.
Sir, we'll ask you to stay for a minute, please. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
The next is
Yeah. Now, it's time to celebrate excellence with our award ceremony, and I request Dr. Dara Ajay, Head TTO, to please come onto the dais to disclose the awardees.
Greetings from Technology Transfer Office, and wish you all a very World Intellectual Property Day. Thank you for the esteemed guest for accepting our invitation. As you are aware, last year we have felicitated the women and IP accelerating innovation and creation. This year, not just one award, we have a list of confirmed awardees under 4 segments in 2 categories, and we are excited to announce them now. The first award is under the National Sustainable Development Goal, which is being given by the Indian Patent Office itself. And we had Indian Patent Office has shortlisted 13 inventions, among which 3 inventions were from the IIT Madras. And the first invention for which the award goes to is Professor Sujata Srinivasan ma'am for doing successful technology transfer for 2 inventions, that is prosthetic knee and standing wheelchair. A big round of applause, please. Thank you, madam. Congratulations. The second set of award in the same nominations goes to Professor T.S. Chandra and Professor Natarajan. Professor Chandra is not there here. She is in Bombay, and we are asking Professor Natarajan sir to please accept the award on behalf of the company FIPSOL. This award goes under the National SDG Challenges. Professor Kavita is in Managing Director of the FIPSOL. The next awards are J.C. Bose awardees, and these awardees are bestowed from by the Alumnus and Corporate Relationship ACR office, and these are the legacy which has been going on from a decade. And these awards are being given with the criteria that inventor who has filed the maximum number of patent applications in India and the maximum patent monetization during the last 5 years, which is calculated from 2018 to 2023, and the award goes as this. The first award for the maximum patent monetization goes to Professor Krishnan Balasubramaniam under the category faculty, and the licensees includes two. One is Zyma and other is Detect. Congratulations, sir. The second set of award in the same patent monetization, the student category is backed by Dr. Nishant Raj, MD and founding member of the Zyma Analytics. In fact, we should thank Nishant. He has been contributed a lot in terms of technology transfer. He has given a whopping of 2.5 crores. He has a technology licensing fees to the technology transfer office. Thank you, Vishal. Congratulations. The next set of award for the maximum patent filing goes to Professor Tuhin sir. Tuhin Sumbra. I request you to please give a big round of applause, please. Sir, please be the next, the same award will be carried out to the student, Dr. Sabarnikar, and she's not here with us, so we're asking Professor to take on our behalf. This is a student category award for maximum patent filing for the last 5 years. Now, this is the next set of awards are IP recognition awards, which have been given by the IC&SR office by the Dean. And we have, the assessment was done in the last financial year with respect to maximum patent filed and monetized. And the award goes for the maximum patent monetization to Professor Mohan Shankar Shivaprakasham sir. For the last year, the company is Vaskrisk. Unlike Professor has bagged one last year as a J.C. Bose for maximum patent monetization through Jasti. Congratulations, sir. And the next set of award is for the IP recognition for maximum patent filed, Professor Jagannathan R. Sorry. We request sir to please come onto the dais. Thank you. Congratulations, sir. So we had a tie between two professors for the maximum number of patent filed. So we are giving an appreciation to both the professors. That is, Professor Bobby George also has been in with the same number of patents. So we request Professor Bobby George sir to come and take the award for the IP recognition award for maximum patent filing for the last year, financial year. The next set of awards for the student with the maximum patent filing goes to Mr. Saddam Hussain Ramaswamy for 2024 for the maximum number of patents filed, and we've been aggressively looking for technology transfer of Mr. Saddam. He has been recently visited Malaysia for a company, invited by the company to discuss the technology transfers of his technologies as well. Congratulations, Saddam. So the last set of awards, what we is called as a STEM Technology Transfers Impact Award, and this has been given by the Society of Technology Management, and the award goes to, again, Professor Sujata Srinivasan for Phoenix under the medical devices. So we have two mementos, one from the STEM and one from the IC&SR office, both. Thank you and congratulations, sir. With this, we are concluding the award ceremony.
Congratulations to all the winners. Yeah. So next we have an engaging panel discussion on the topic SDG success stories and societal impact. I invite the panelists to the dais. Dr. Kavita Sairam, founder and CEO, Fipsol Life Technologies. Advisor is Professor T.S. Chandra and Professor Natarajan, Department of Biotech. Next, I call upon Mr. Swastik Saurav Dash, a co-founder and CEO, Neomotion Assistive Solutions Private Limited. The advisor is Professor Sujata Srinivasan, Department of Mechanical Engineering.
Can we have a big round of applause for that?
Next, Mr. Ashwin Kumar Kadirvel, co-founder and CTO, Zyma Analytics Private Limited. Advisors are Professor Krishnan Balasubramanian and Professor Prabhuraj Gopal, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Mr. Moinak Banerjee, co-founder and head of product, Solinas Integrity Private Limited. Advisors are Professor Krishnan Balasubramanian and Professor Prabhuraj Gopal, Department of Mechanical Engineering. As the last panelist. And the panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Dara Ajay, Head Technology Transfer Office. Please give a warm welcome to all our panelists.
Thank you very much for the panelists for accepting the invitation from the Technology Transfer Office to be here. So the intention was not to discuss on the sustainable development into the technical aspects, but to boost the spirit of the students who are there to become more entrepreneurs in line to what we have already discussed by our director. They have an ambitious goal of 100 startups. So these are the startups, I mean, these once they were students, now today they are the entrepreneurs, and they have been recognized successfully at national and internationally, and having clients from within India and outside India, and running a successful companies. So we would like to listen from them, and the panel discussion would go with a very short intro of 2 slides of each one, and thereafter we will enter into a quick discussion. Considering the time limits, I'm welcoming the panel and also requesting to give only 1 or 2 minutes of the introductory slides, what we have shared for. So today's discussion is in sustainable development goals, and IITM has already proved and working towards the sustainable development goals. With this, we'll start with Zyma. Mr. Ashwin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ashwin Kumar Kadirvel. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Zyma Analytics. So my background is I have a mechanical engineering bachelor's degree from IIT Madras here in this department. I'm proud to say that I'm in the presence of my professors here. Very lucky to do this. And Zyma is a deep tech startup from the lab of Center for Non-Destructive Evaluation in IIT Madras, headed by Professor Krishnan and Professor Prabhuraj Gopal. We have developed an indigenous technology called ultrasonic waveguides, which essentially can convert any wire, any piece of a metallic wire, to a sensor to do measurements in critical industries, especially in high temperature and hazardous conditions. We've been using these sensors to measure temperature and these kinds of parameters in oil and gas refineries, in metal industries, and many such process industries.
Thank you, Ashwin. The next is New Motion, Mr. Swastik.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Swastik. I graduated from IIT Madras in 2013. I got introduced into the field of disability at the Center of Rehabilitation Research and Device Development under Professor Sujata Srinivasan. With so much of development around, how often do we see a wheelchair user in our daily life? Why are they not visible out there? Why should they be confined to the four walls and not there in the society? So that's what NeoMotion wants to change. Make everyday mobility simple for persons with disability and elderly so that they can come out into the world, enjoy, and live life to the fullest. So that's what we want to do. We have about 5,000 users spread across different parts of the country, across all the states. We are a team of about 50 members. Long journey, long way to go, and we are here to make that change. Thank you.
Thank you, Swastik. I request Dr. Kavita to please give the intro.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So, first of all, I have a graduation from IIT Madras. I'm a PhD scholar. I was a PhD scholar here. So the idea was to make biologicals more useful in agriculture. So that's a challenge today. So in order to improve eco-friendly way of farming, so that is a challenge we are addressing. So we have biologicals, deep tech technology in biotechnology into what we are giving. So 100 ml, so this is the product. I thought let me also show the product when I'm here. So this is sufficient for an acre. So this is the technology we have come up with. So it's an encapsulation technology wherein 3 lakh crore bacteria is there in this 100 ml of pouch, which is sufficient for an acre. And the technology that we licensed from IIT Madras, I just want to show it in the product form, so it would be more easy. It's a fiber. So you can see it is just a fiber, tissue paper like fiber. So 5 gram is sufficient for an acre. So it's a nanofiber technology, again encapsulation of bacteria. So by increasing biologicals, we can actually reduce chemical inputs more towards sustainable development goals. Thank you.
Thank you. The next intro, I request Solinas.
So I am Moinak, and unluckily I'm not part of the IIT Madras. I was not a student of that, but my co-founders were part of IIT Madras, and I have seen how IIT Madras created an ecosystem of building entrepreneurs from colleges, from universities. So I have done my master's from KTH Stockholm, I stopped in 2019. And then I was part of the founding team for Solinas. Professor Krishnan Balasubramanian and Professor Prabhu Rajagopal was part of the founding team which built that company. I will just give an understanding of what we do. So we are a company which is trying to revolutionize how the water and sanitation assets are maintained, specifically infrastructure assets. Like water and sanitation assets, infrastructure assets are water pipelines, sewer pipelines, septic tanks, and manholes. We are trying to bring technology there, specifically robotics and AI. If I want to manage one asset, specifically 3 things are very important. One is inspecting that asset to diagnose the health of that asset, like what is the condition of the asset. So we develop robots specifically to do that. Then cleaning that asset, like how you can rehabilitate and clean that asset. For that we have robots, HomoSep, which was specifically came out from IIT Madras only. And then we have a data management system so that we can manage the data of these assets, so that we can predict how these assets will behave in the next 5 to 10 years. And we convert this into right KPIs for the utility operators and everything. So yeah, that is the small things that we have.
Thank you. Thank you, Moinak. And Technology Transfer Office has been fortunate that we have negotiated a licensing agreement with all the 4, and all the 4 have got very good recognition. Now the question goes to Mr. Swastik and Moinak, that you've been part of the Shark Tanks, right? So we would like to understand your journey from IIT Madras to the Shark Tank, and what is the procedure and how do you feel? What is your opinion and suggestions to the students about the Shark Tanks?
So yeah, Shark Tank is a really great platform to get recognitions, because it's, first of all, it's a national, you will cater to national audience, and you get an opportunity where you connect with the people which are just behind the TV, right? That when you work in technologies like what we are working on, you do not meet daily users, right? We are not into B2C business. So it's a very good platform so that you can reach out to the normal citizens of India. But how we started off your journey, it was just like, we saw the ad, it comes before the Shark Tank we were in the season 2 as with Swastik. Came up in the newspaper ad, like they are trying to get startups to feature in the Shark Tank, and then we did the audition, and then we got selected. And we were lucky to get we got offers from all the investors that is there in the show. So from experience point of view, it's a really great exposure to get recognition in the market, specifically into the common citizens of India, and also a place to raise funds. But I would rather say, if I be very honest, I would say rather a place to get recognition rather than to raise funds. So yeah.
So Swastik, in terms of the Shark Tanks, when you had in interactions, whether the financials were helpful or whether the valuation, what they did for your equity, was at equaling to your value, or have you been exploring or trying to leverage it? So was that helpful?
So I think just adding to what Moinak said, I think our key purpose of going there was also to be known out there. And I would say that difference is there. Like, I have met people who randomly come to me, say, hey, did I see you on Shark Tank? I said, okay, it's actually valuable. People remember you for that. And when we're trying to build a brand, the recall is important. How many times have they known about you is important. So just adding to what Moinak was said, yes, it is important so that people get to know you, like how an IIT Madras brand is extremely important. Similarly, out there, the Shark Tank brand is also important. People add credibility to that. So it helps you open doors. Regarding the valuation, I mean, we did get what we asked for. So we stuck to that. For us, it was like we were prepared that we're not asking very high, we're not asking very low. We're okay to walk out if we don't get the offer. But then we were clear that we will stick to it. So it was a tough to and fro. But then eventually, they did agree to what we asked for.
So the takeaway is that you got your marketing, whatever you wanted, and the valuation set validation has been done for your startup.
Yes.
Now let's turn to Zaima Ashwin. Yeah, congratulations for winning the National Startup Award, which is very prestigious for IIT Madras as well. We would like to hear from you. We would like to hear from you that what are the best practices that you have that you got shortlisted for this national award?
So the major one is our idea from the initial stages of the technology is to think big. How can I do something to the industry I can build it up to 5x, 10x, but can I take it up to 1000x? Even if I can do that, even if I'm not able to achieve that, I can at least do 500 and 600x. So that makes a huge difference to the industries directly. So that would save them in business losses, that would save them in energy conservation, and especially in safety and regulation conditions. And that has helped us grow this product, not even in the Indian market. It has helped us take it to the global market. Now we find solutions to a problem which exists across the sector in the global scenario. And that's the way it is.
Dr. Kavita, you being one of the women entrepreneurs of IIT Madras, how do you see the government schemes or the support from the IIT Madras and other schemes to boost the women entrepreneurship in India?
So there are a lot of schemes, especially in the Department of Biotechnology, right from being a scholar, research scholar. So we have the BioCare, we have the DSG Women Scientists. So just to address to the issues that women have during their career, it could be childbirth, it could be marriage. Let's not shy away from that, because every of us have to face this at some point of the other, being a woman. So that is first taken care of. First thing is in the education space itself, when we just move ahead. So there is no excuse now. So we have proper fellowships, we have enough time limit, so we have a 5-year extension in whatever we do. So that is something that is addressed. And when you come to entrepreneurship, so there are a lot of loans and schemes, like we have the Stand Up India scheme, which supports women entrepreneurs who have 50% shareholding. So that helps in the funding and other aspects. We also have other loans like OCDs and other things which especially targets women entrepreneurs in the OBC category or others with 51% shareholding. So these are the other options we have. And mostly in the science space, deep tech space, leaving women and men. So far I've been talking about women, but I have mostly competed in the general category. So let me talk about it. So in the sense, the women and the men category. So Department of Biotechnology, BIRAC, has a lot of schemes. So since we come under the deep tech biotech company, we started applying right from the big grant. So we have a biotechnology ignition grant right from the idea level. Here we don't have any demarcation. Of course, I think by that time we should be coming over the men, women part, and then we should be ready for the technical aspect. So right from there we have the SIBRI scheme. We have the next to the scaling up scheme, which is the BIPP schemes. So these are the various schemes that we've been availing, and there are a lot of other fundings that we've been availing throughout our journey, even before investment. So almost around 3 CR we raised to develop our products only through government grants and awards. So that is something very good, and I see that the environment is very conducive for any deep tech startup to develop their technologies. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita. And yes, really, the government of India through DST, DBT, and other agencies is hugely funding in the startup schemes, in DPIIT schemes, and other schemes only targeting the individuals and the deep tech startups, which we have to clearly leverage it. Now, I think in terms of funding, our Office of Alumnus, ACR office in terms of CSR funding has been playing very critical role from IIT Madras. And I would like to listen a few of your comments from NeoMotion and Solinas, if they can describe the support that has been provided by the IIT Madras ACR office or CSR grants.
Yeah, sure. So I think all the initial development that we did has been through grant, and it requires that flexible funding. I mean, we need to go do trials and pilot, and all the work that we did happened at the TTK Center for R2D2. That is where the first prototypes were built, the first trials happened, and this allows us the freedom to try out very things till we come to the correct product, till we arrive at the correct technology, where we are not really in a time frame where no, we just have to finish it, but rather allowing that freedom to try, experiment, and do that. And here, these funds have been extremely helpful because that helps us reach a stage where we say, okay, now we are ready to go out there with much more structured setup. So it's been helpful.
Yeah, so it has been really helpful because what I feel is when again, if you are part of a very premier institution of India like IIT Madras, but then also when you start to do businesses, it's very tough to get the initial funds, and specifically if you are into manufacturing business, which is very, very money consuming. In that case, in the beginning phases, like through IC&SR, the grants we get from GAIL, where we try to build the prototype for that, and then not only that, like helping to get the grants to scale it up, like to the deployments, where we got the grants through IC&SR from the different MNCs, so that we can take these technologies around India and then get some credibility in the market, and so that we can scale it up. So that has been really crucial for us, and I think that is the reason what we are now is because of that.
Thank you. Now I would like to listen from Zaima Ashwin. Considering the big investments that you're making, you should have a lot of experience handling the venture capitals and VC fundings. So what are the best practices that you see yourself will keep us in an upper edge when we are going and meeting the VCs?
The main thing when the VCs are looking at a startup, that to an early stage startup, they look at product market fit, and then comes the founders. That's where we were able to build a product from its early stages with the industry's help. And that's one of the things that helped us build the pitch deck on top of the product itself. And then comes the founders, and then comes the teams. And another important aspect is, can we address a market which will grow in the future? It should not be a market, let's say, an oil and gas industry, which people call as sunset industries. But we should also address different problems in different industries. So to make sure that your product is multifarious, it should be able to solve at least a few of the sector's problems. That is what the investors actually look for in a startup like Zaima, because we are a deep tech startup. The product is hardware. I would have to manufacture it somewhere, I have to install it somewhere. It's all physical, right?
Thank you. Dr. Kavita, do you want to add something on that? On the pitch-in deck for the investors?
Yeah. So first thing is having an opportunity for the technology that we have and being sector agnostic. So in future, if we can actually put this technology in other sectors, because that is promising growth in case of VCs. So today we are working in agriculture. So tomorrow, if we can take the same technology as a platform to healthcare or in other metallurgy or other sectors, basically. So that is the idea. And scaling up, whether the technology is really able to scale up and able to address the market is something that we may have to do our own due diligence and homework before even we reach out to the VCs. And the next thing is, of course, the business plan, like what are our target customers and a go-to-market strategy. In short, having some clarity, if not full clarity, having some clarity. So these three are the main things I see as which can actually attract VCs.
Thank you. It is clear that when we wanted to start a startup, we should have a clear business plan with the set goals, and one should also perform a market penetration studies, as Ashwin was mentioning, that you have to have a clear market what we are targeted for. Now, going back to a little bit on the equity, opening the company, equity shares and dilution, I would like to listen from Neomotion. So some insights in terms of company formation, what is the role of the equity, how important it is, and what are the roles of dilutions while equity?
Sure. So I think equity is one of the most important and valuable asset going forward in the long term of the company from multiple aspects. And I would specifically narrate it from our example. So now we are into a space which is hardware, which is maybe a social segment also. It will take time to build a business, sustainable business in this particular field. So you have to understand when you are raising a VC fund also has got a business plan of their own. They have a life cycle. They want returns in certain period of time, amount of time, say for example a 5 years or a 6-year cycle. Now, unless your business fits into that, it will be a problem for you. You will start doing things which will be different from maybe what you initially wanted and started to do. So hence, the clarity over there is important. As you are diluting with time, there are others who come in, there has to be a natural alignment between what you want to happen at the end of say 5-year period and the other partner who is coming in, what is their aim at the end of their life cycle. So unless that alignment is there, it's better that we spend time evaluating, getting that match right before we jump straight into it. Second thing is within the team itself, how you do the division of equity. So different people will have different roles, responsibilities to perform. So it's good to discuss that out. What will you do? How will you contribute? And so on. And so that the division is well discussed. There is no, it's logical and it needs to be discussed. The point is to get to that table and do that difficult conversation so that it becomes clear with very set responsibilities and outcome that you will have. You should also need to plan for maybe what lies ahead. There may be co-founders who may be joining you at later point of time. When you started, you may not have a chief financial officer, you may not have a chief market officer, but you would need them in future. So when they come in, what are you going to offer for them? It should be lucrative. It should be something where they are involved and they feel part of it. So having that thought process, thinking through that and parking that aside also helps. So these are the few bits which I can share.
Quickly from Zyma, what is the role of equity when you were discussing with the VCs? Some shedding lights on the equity.
So, like from our startup, we can say like we are a lab-grown startup, from IIT Madras. So when it comes to equity, we are actually 4 co-founders over here. So their main, understanding of this, setup that we have is how each of the founders are contributing to this, startup, journey over here. In this, ultimately, we are all trying to build a business here. And we have to have each founder's roles and responsibilities laid down in principle before the VCs. Because it's not just that, because professors have done a lot of work in the research and development of this technology. And then we come in and we take it to the next commercialization level. So we have an understanding of fairly compensating each of our founders within ourselves. And we would have to be very clear with the investors to communicate the same, because they might come from a different background and they might come from a different idea of the equity structure in total. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, considering the time constraint, there are a few questions. We would reserve it afterwards. The panelists are still available outside after the sessions for a discussion. So we would like to listen from the students if any questions are there for the panel. Anyone has any of the questions that you wanted to ask, you get free to ask. Anyway, as I told, the panelists are available. You can have a face-to-face discussion also to get the questions clarified. As a closing statement, I would like to, as a closing statement from each one, like what are your plans from being a Sonicon to become a unicorn first, and where do you see yourself there to align in yourself in business plans and contributing towards SDG? A closing statement, quick closing statement from each one of you so that we can close this.
Our vision is to be the next, we are a census company, so our vision is to be the next ABV or the next, maybe the first Zyma of the world, where in the next 5 years down the line, we'll be at a stage where we directly be competing with these huge giants in this market. And that's where we want to be.
Dr. Kavita.
So we'll be the FIPSOL Insight for Biologicals globally. So the career platform for FIPSOL will be used in all biologicals, in any agricultural inputs globally. So all agricultural products would become like this, especially the biologicals part of it, even the chemicals. We are thinking of even chemicals. So leading to sustainable development, more eco-friendly way of farming, more informed way of farming, and more safe way of farming. Thank you.
Thank you.
The vision for NeoMotion would be any person in the world who could benefit from a mobility assistive technology. NeoMotion should be there with them. They should be using that product and providing that freedom. And eventually, in the short term, immediately, we are just at 5,000 users. How quickly, in the next 2 or 3 years, can we reach 1 lakh users is our immediate goal.
So our vision should be, as of now, first of all, there should not be no manual scavenging deaths that's happened still now in India. So that is something that we want to have in next 1 or 2 years so that we can have these machines deployed in each and every district in all of India. Secondly, all the citizens that are present in India should have clean drinking water available to them. And that can only happen if we can build robots which can inspect these lines. Because water resources are very limited, and India is already the most populous country in this world. So proper distribution of these water resources can only happen if we have proper technologies to implement it. So that is the major vision that we have. But keeping in mind your question of unicorn or sonicorn or something like that, I will put it in this way. I am very confident that we can be maybe not unicorn, maybe a decacorn, because the next unicorns that happens in next 10 years will not be from something like EV or EV is a booming sector, but not be something like Facebook. I believe the next big companies or the poster boys of the world, which is like Tesla and Facebooks, the next poster boys will be the one which is saving this planet. And that is already accepted by Bill Gates also. Bill Gates only told that the next big Facebooks or next big Microsofts will be the companies which are saving this planet. We are into this sector, and I believe if we can do what we are thinking of, we can be that from India.
Thank you very much for the panelists for an exhaustive discussions, and thank you very much for your contribution towards the sustainable development goals and the products. And we are very happy that IIT Madras IPs were supportive for you in your product development and product translation to the market. With this, I would like to thank everyone. Thank you for the dean and director also for the opportunity.
Thank you for our esteemed panelists and the moderator for such a stimulating discussion. We started from funding, scaling up, how the platform technology is facing problems, business plan, and go-to-market strategy for fitting into the business environment. So with this, I'd like to take opportunity to thank all the panelists, Dr. Kavita, Mr. Ashwin, Mr. Swastik, and Mr. Moinak. Let's give a round of applause and token of appreciation for their excellent contributions.
request Professor Prabhuraj Gopal sir to please come to give a token of appreciation to our panelists. Please, panelists, you walked away very fast. A small token of appreciation from the IC&SR that. Mr. Swastik, please. Sir, that is the biggest weapon, sir, to make the businesses. We wanted you to sign the next biggest deal with that one from the IIT Madras. Moinak, please, from the Solinas. Ashwin from Zyma. Dr. Kavita from SIPSOL. So I request Professor Prabhu to be on stage and also Professor Ashwin to please join us for the message. There's an introduction written for you, sir. Please, Professor Ashwin and Professor Prabhu.
Next, I would like to invite one of our professors who is a scientist, startup enthusiast, and a successful poet. Yes, it is Professor Prabhu Rajgopal. He is a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and an associate of the Center for Non-Destructive Evaluation, IIT Madras. He is also IP advisor and also the faculty in charge of Center for Innovation. And his research has a strong industry focus with more than 12 sponsored projects with a total value of about $3 million. He has co-founded many startups, and one of his startups, Planus Technologies, recently raised 43 crore rupees in equity funding. Congratulations, sir. And he's a man with a lot of innovative ideas. And sir, we are eager to listen to what you have for us today. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, all of you. Thank you for those words. I'll agree with a lot of that except one point, successful poet. That's an oxymoron. Somebody, Abhishek Parui on Facebook shared his royalty figures from his books. So I said, you must be proud of this. From my poetry books, I get 1/10 of that. So, but very glad to be here. I'm very happy to see many students as well. Some of them are from our own labs as such. So, Ajay, Ms. Sumita, great job in pulling off a great show today. And I think this will become a landmark event on our calendar every year. As Professor Kamakoti says, that IP is at the heart of our startup revolution as such. And the fact that many of our startups are recognizing this, the fact that some of the successful IP commercializations were showcased today through the startup examples, I think is a great inspiration for many students here. As a technology-led and technology-driven university, for us, deep tech is really our forte. So as Moinak was saying, every one of our startups can become decacons. Why just unicorns? Because we are trying to solve a pressing social or technological problem. And many of these solutions require years and years of hard work, years and years of perseverance, a lot of knowledge, a lot of application. And so many of our startups actually tend to be very IP rich. Every one of our 350 startups here are commercializing a very deep bank of our IPs. So we have 366 startups just in this 1 year. And so we have the potential for 366 startups. Why just 100 in the coming year? So every one of those IPs can seed a new startup. Now, as far as the startups are concerned, although this recognition of IPs are growing, I think among our faculty members, also more awareness about IP, I think is still in order. I think as IP office, we should be doing this. Particularly, I can say, I think even I am guilty in this. we tend to file IPs which sometimes do not have a lot of commercial value. They are knowledge, they are important. It is a docking of a concept, but it's really not at a stage where the industry will be interested in it. And I think in this 1 year, that is where we need to really focus on. Mr. Vishnu was also talking about quality of IPs. So I think that is an awareness which we need to cultivate among faculty members and also among students, that the closer we take a concept or a solution to a product, the greater the IP value will be. And indeed, IPs can also be a series. They need not be just one IP. That is also many of us are guilty of that. Once an IP is filed, I think many people, including me, we think the work is concluded. Right? I mean, our job is done. But actually, the job is only starting, because you have started the journey of productization, you've started the journey of commercialization. The IP is only the very first, at TRL3, it is only the very first footprint in this whole journey. We need to be taking those IPs to high TRLs, and that means perhaps a series of IPs. Saddam has been recognized. I don't know if he's still around. I think he must be congratulated on this fact that he's been working on a series of IPs. No wonder industry is interested in his solutions, in taking them. So with those few words, I think it's very relevant today that we have Professor Ashwin Mahalingam. This year's IP theme from the World IP Organization is sustainability, and therefore indeed that we have showcased startups with a sustainability footprint. And this mix, IPs, sustainability, commercialization, I think is going to be extremely explosive for our country's growth. With these few words, thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for coming here. Thank you.
With sustainable development gaining prominence in the world, IIT Madras has launched the School of Sustainability in the year 2023. IITM's School of Sustainability aims to teach new interdisciplinary courses on sustainability, promote research to tackle ground challenges, and provide a platform to showcase technologies that can help drive both practice and policy. Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, the head of School of Sustainability, is here with us today. Following a stint as a graduate research assistant at Stanford University, Professor Ashwin also serves as a consultant to various private and public sector organizations in the areas of project management, computer applications in construction, infrastructure planning and management, organization behavior, disaster management and sustainable development, cross-culture issues in large engineering projects and public-private partnerships. Professor Ashwin is also a co-founder of Okapi Advisory Services Private Limited. We welcome you, sir, to address the gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. We've spoken quite a bit today on sustainable development goals. That's been mentioned quite a few times, and as Professor Prabhu said, the theme this year is IP and sustainability. So Professor Kamakoti said that we are trying to orient everything that we do at IIT Madras towards the sustainability development goals, which is hopefully what others are doing also. And so in response to this, we created the School of Sustainability about 6 months ago. And the School of Sustainability will essentially do three things. It will look at innovative ways in which we can teach sustainability to everyone on campus as well as people outside. Second is, how can we catalyze interdisciplinary research on sustainability? And third, how can we take what we are doing and sort of make sure that we reach out and have an impact with regards to the work that we do at IIT Madras. So when we set out the vision for the school, we had 4 boxes. We said we wanted to focus on basic scientific research. We wanted to focus on technology development. We wanted to focus on real-world implementation as well as policy advisory, right? So we had these 4 boxes. So if you look at these boxes, clearly IP is very critical, because if you want to go from scientific research to technology development to actual implementation, which will then influence policy, you can't do it without focusing on IP. So IP is something that is something that is of great interest to us at the School of Sustainability. But there is a challenge. There's a bit of an elephant in the room that we've not really talked about today, although it's been mentioned. The challenge is this: when we do research at IIT Madras, typically there's this thing called the Technology Readiness Level Framework, which tells you how mature technologies are. Typically, a lot of the research ends up at a TRL level of somewhere between 1 and 3. At that point, a lot of papers get published, and in some cases, some of the IPs that Prabhu was referring to also get filed. but you really need to be at a level of TRL 6, possibly 7 or higher to be able to commercialize this kind of IP. And so in between this TRL 3 and 6 is sort of a bit of a valley of death, where the faculty may no longer be interested in pursuing it because the paper has been written, the IP has been filed, but it is not yet ready to be taken up. Now, of course, all the examples that we had today, FIPSOL, Zyma, Solinas, NeoMotion, they've all bridged that valley. But to me, that's still a bit of the exception rather than the rule. And what we need to do to bridge that valley is to take all of these ideas that are at TRL level 3, try to see if we can marry them with adequate funding as well as with an entrepreneur. I think what we learned many years ago is there's a difference between an innovator and an entrepreneur. Innovator creates the IP, but they are not necessarily an entrepreneur. All right. Incidentally, the 4 cases represented here, we were lucky enough that the innovators were also entrepreneurs. But again, that's not necessarily the case. So we've got to bridge this gap. So one of the things that we are trying to do through the School of Sustainability is to see if we can create these venture studios that will do exactly this. So can we work with Prabhu's Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship as well as IC&SR to try to see if we can bridge this gap. So we've just signed our first MOU with an alumnus of ours, Kushant Uppal from the 92 batch, who runs a VC firm called Indus DC. And what we've said is that we'll open out 6 sets of IPs to him or to them, all of which are at the moment in the area of clean energy. And what he will do is bring in investors and entrepreneurs. The faculty and the students will still be involved in terms of providing the technology roadmap. And hopefully through this process, we will take a bunch of IPs that are at this TRL level 3 stage, bring them up to TRL level 6 or beyond, and actually start up these companies. And that's going to be critical in fulfilling Professor Kamakoti's vision of 100 startups every year and so on. And if this experiment succeeds, then we can sort of open this up to all of the SDGs, not just clean energy, and find a pathway to constantly take these forward. So it's still very much work in progress. We don't have results to report yet, but this is sort of the direction that we are thinking in. And hopefully together, School of Sustainability, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, IC&SR, all the faculty doing research, we can not only have 400 IPs per year, but hopefully at some point in the future, we'll have 400 startups per year. And that, I think, will be amazing. I don't think any university in the world has sort of gone that far, but we're hoping to head there. So we hope all of you will support us in our journey. Thank you very much.
So I thank Professor Ashwin to give us insights like from TRL level, where is the value of death to take a leap forward towards sustainable development goals. With this, we draw our event to a close. I would request our Dean, Professor Manu, to give away the vote of thanks.
First and foremost, sincere appreciation and thanks to Mr. Vishnu for gracing this occasion and sharing his vision for the development of the state and, of course, the development of the country with us. Thanks, of course, to Professor Kamakoti for continuing to ably guide us and lead us to more excellence as an institute, as a country also. And I also thank our 4 youngsters who are showing the path to many of our student inventors and scientists who are budding innovators by sharing their experience and how they actually made it big in their respective fields. I think it was invaluable, the kind of lessons they shared. I'm sure that our students who are here would have really imbibed many of these points. I also wish to thank all the inventors and faculty and student inventors who are sharing this occasion with us, who came to collect their awards as a recognition of the efforts that they put in. I'm sure that they'll continue to do great in the future years, and we'll continue to have them here sharing this happiness on the occasion of IP Day. I also thank Professor Prabhu Rajagopal and Professor Ashwin Malingam for addressing on very important aspects on IP and on sustainability. I think together we have some sort of an ecosystem available now at the Institute where we can really build this entire realm and grow from strength to strength. I think that's something that's going to happen, and I think all of these targets that look very futuristic right now will become realistic very soon. I think the efforts of all are required, and I'm very happy to say that the student, faculty, and management and staff of this institute have been very supportive in getting us to our goals. And last but not the least, of course, I'd like to thank our own staff members from IC&SR, primarily the IPM and TTO office for really putting up, first of all, a very good program, but the program is only the culmination of a year which saw a lot of achievement, and I'm hoping and also demanding that this achievement continue in the future also. I'm sure that you met one target, and now many more targets will be in front of you to continue to meet in the future. And I'm sure that you are capable of doing that. I also want to thank all the other staff from IC&SR who also joined here today to partake in the success of their fellow peers. And it's very important that we all share the happiness with everyone. And I'm also happy to share with you on this occasion of World IP Day. So thank you all for attending. It's indeed been a great occasion. Thank you.
With this, we are concluding the event. I wanted the chief guest to please be on a dais for a photograph, final photograph, sorry. Final photographs with all. And everyone can join us for a group photograph. After the group photograph, we will disperse for. Please join. Please come. The IPM cell and the TT cell and the students, please join us for one last group photograph. You can come forward. The IPTT staff can make a line.